Well, hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us on short notice. I'm not sure if you can tell, but the blazer I'm wearing has a little bit of red in it, and I don't want anybody giving me any grief that I got a blazer on with a little bit of red, because it's the holidays and we're celebrating. So I just really appreciate everyone being here. How about that Mountain West championship game, huh? How about winning that? How about being champions? How cool is that? I missed your press conference last Monday, so I didn't get a chance to just tell everyone how thrilled we were with the performance of our team, and just very, very excited for our student athletes. Absolutely thrilled that we have one more game, that all of us get to watch these student athletes and coaches perform. So very, very excited for the upcoming week. After the championship game, actually Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, very early, Coach Brennan and I had a chance to go for a walk and sort of talk a little bit about where we've been as a football program and where do we want to go. From the very beginning, he and I have spent a great deal of time talking about building a sustainable and vibrant and successful, not just a football program, but an entire athletics program where every year we compete for championships. And I've said this before, that the easiest thing is to say you want to do that. You know, that's sort of the easy part. You really have to have a plan, and you have to have a process, and you have to believe that you have the right individuals who are navigating the ship, as they say. And so these last few days, again, quite a few conversations just about our future and our football program. I do want to give a shout out to President Papazian and to Charlie Foz, Vice President for Business and Finance, and certainly other members of the President's Cabinet. But the success of our athletics program, our football program, South Campus, all the things that are happening just simply would not happen and could not happen with those individuals. So I really, really want to thank them. So yesterday we kind of finally got to a place where we were able to have some discussions about Coach Brennan contract in particular. You know, very, very excited to announce that we have agreed to an extension and some terms, additional terms of the contract. Unfortunately, I can't share those terms with you right yet because we certainly have agreed in concept, but it's been a pretty quick turnaround from yesterday to today. So not able to tell you the full extent of it, but I can tell you that, you know, we're gonna have Coach Brennan as our coach for a number of years. We feel really, really good about that. Leadership can often be defined by consistency, and certainly having a football program, the coaching staff in place that we've had for the last few years has manifested itself in this absolutely incredible, incredible season. You know, I do want to take a moment to thank Courtney and Blake and Casey and Scotty. You know, I know the Brennan family very well. I know the extended family, certainly Beth Brennan and then Mary Clark, Courtney's mother-in-law, and Brad and the family. I've really missed seeing the family. Some of you may not realize after home football games, the entire Simpkins Center is filled with Brennan people and kids and friends running everywhere. And whether we win or lose, it's a pretty incredible sight for me. So we've missed them this past season for sure, but I just want to thank them for the support that they've given Brent from afar. And certainly I know that they were a part of the conversations that we've had the last few days. So with that, I will turn it back over to Justin, or I can just turn it directly to Coach Brennan. Is that, or I'll turn it over to you, Justin.
Okay, so yeah, I'll
answer questions.
Thank you very much. I'll take it for 1 second here, and we'll remind our media members that if you can't see it behind in Marie's background there, New Year's Eve, 11 a.m. kickoff against Ball State in the Arizona Bowl. The game will be televised on CBS, and the radio call will be heard on KTRB as the flagship station for that game, and tune in starting at 10:30 with our pregame show. I would like to remind media members that questions directed toward Coach Brennan and Marie today should be about the extension. If you have questions regarding any of the upcoming travel arrangements or COVID protocols for San Jose State, Ken Masinchi at the university, who is the Senior Director of Media Relations, can handle those. His email address is kennethmasinchi@sjsu.edu, KENNETH.MASHINCHI@sjsu.edu. With that, we'll hand it over to Coach Brennan. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. What an awesome day. I woke up this morning feeling great, really excited about this space that we're in at San Jose State right now. Spent all morning thinking about what a mountain we have been climbing, right? Not just this season on the football field, but really 4 years of heavy, intense climbing with a lot of people contributing along the way. And I think, as I've done more interviews this week and talked with more people, the thing that keeps coming back to me is this process, or where we're at, just has no chance to happen without Marie Tuitt and Dr. Papazian and people like Charlie Foss and, just the members of the cabinet. It's just really a cool thing to be at San Jose State and see this kind of collaboration between academic side and athletics. And, it's just really a special time, in my opinion. And I think that's a huge reason why you're seeing a better product on the football field, just because of that sustained effort and that belief in each other and willingness to work together to find ways to keep moving our program forward. So I could not be more excited to be signing an extension today. I think it's great for everybody involved. I think in program wide, it lets the players know that, our family's going to stay intact, that, recruits and their families, that, the people that they signed up to join in this battle are going to be there in the leadership positions, the mentorship positions. That part of it, I think, is the best part. And what has made this journey so magical and special is the people, and we get to keep going with it. So I'm really excited. Obviously, there's a lot going on right now. Most importantly, the best thing going on is that the Spartans are in a freaking bowl game. Like, we are getting ready to play. Here, I'll show you guys this. So this is a sign. It's been hanging in my office last year since we beat Fresno State. And it says, "We will practice in Spartan Stadium with Christmas music in 2020. And it sits right here. And so I see it every time I get on my computer. It's like basically right in my face. And that sign, I look at it, 50 times a day. So the disappointing thing is that we won't get to practice in Spartan Stadium in December, but we are going to have Christmas music at practice in December, because that means we are still playing, which hasn't happened here for a very long time. So I'm excited about all of it. I'm loving this team. The championship was magical. I'm excited about the extension. And the biggest thing I'm excited about is that we all get to keep climbing this mountain together.
Bing Crosby in the desert for San Jose State coming up. All right, we're going to open it up some questions. Again, you can raise your hand in the participants function, or you can type it into the chat and we'll cycle on through. Justice De Los Santos, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you again a little sooner than expected. I think we're both cognizant of what happened earlier this morning in regards to the Wildcats. How far did you, and your name was linked to Arizona, so how far did you progress in conversations with Arizona, and what ultimately led you to stay here in San Jose State, a place that you have called your home?
Yeah, you know what? I was really honored to be in consideration with the University of Arizona. I know that was out there. That place is a special place to me. My family's history, my history with Coach Tomey. And I think in all these things, I think having conversations and, I think the big picture career, I think those are always part of it. And then you figure out how it's all going to work, and then you go forward. And so, what we have been able to do now is really special, because it keeps us in the same space with my family, my kids, my wife, these players. I think that part of it is sometimes gets overlooked in the business of football. And really, you know, when those things happen, when someone's hired or fired or whatever, you're looking at a significant impact to hundreds of people, and both good and bad. And, you know, that part of it is something that was really on our minds and hearts as we went through it. And I'm excited for Arizona. They made their choice, and he's going to be a great fit. And we made our choice, and we already know this is a great fit. So again, we are moving forward.
Coach, you alluded to Coach Tomey. I don't know, you're set to be just the second coach in the last 3 decades to coach at least 5 seasons for the Spartans. What does it mean for you to be able to stay at a place for so long and really set down roots here? And as you've alluded to previously, build sustainable program?
Well, I think the consistency of that leadership is important. The consistency of our coaching staff and the people that are coaching and mentoring our team is critical. And you know, I think it gets really hard to do if you keep changing the people in front of the room. And so, you know, our administration has been extremely supportive of that, of finding ways to, you know, make it better for myself or my staff to stay here, finding ways to improve the process for our team, whatever that has been, or athletic department, whether that's been, you know, how we feed them, you know, how we provide for them, how we train them, how we take care of them, all those things. You know, like Marie and Dr. Papazian have been really creative in finding ways to continue to do the job better. And to me, those are all the things that tell you that we are building this program, the consistent, Ben, you're killing me. I'm sorry. You know, the consistency of it, that we're moving in the right direction because we keep finding ways to make it better for everybody involved, starting with the players, starting with the student athletes. And as long as that's where we start from in terms of building a program that has student athlete well-being in mind, we build a program with taking care of these young people academically, athletically, socially, then we're doing the right things. And, you know, if we put in the work, the good results will come. And I think we're starting to see it look that way. I mean, I guess, you know, someone told me it's ring season, and this year we get to go, you know.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, over to Victor Aquino. Go ahead.
Actually, a question for Marie. So when you first obviously hired Brent, and what did you see, and what signs along the way did you find that you made the right decisions, especially in year 1, year 2, and year 3? Right.
Well, and actually President Papazian deserves the credit for hiring, you know, Coach Brennan. And actually Coach Brennan, our paths had crossed previously when he was at Washington State. And then also obviously the year that he was coaching here with Coach McIntyre. So certainly was familiar with Coach Brennan. But, you know, when you're looking to hire a head coach, there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that you want to try and make sure everything fits. But for me, it really starts with hiring someone who is very student athlete centered, who cares deeply about the experience for the student athlete. I often say this, that, and then I go to, you know, got to have a good moral compass. You got to be committed to the same mission and values of the university. I mean, Coach Brennan knows this. I want to think about my football program. I don't want to worry about it. And there's a big difference with that. You have to trust that, you know, your head coach is going to make the decisions that are in the best interest of everyone involved, whether that's a student athlete, whether that's an assistant coach or the university. So, you know, the character part of coaching is really important to me. And I said this in an interview a couple of weeks ago, that one of the real joys of my professional career has been watching Coach Brennan grow into the head coach he is today. I think we both came in at the same time. His first fall was my first fall as the athletic director. And I think we're very, very prepared for the chairs that we sit in. But let me tell you, once you're sitting in them, it can sometimes, you know, be a little bit of a different story. So we've been eerily aligned is the word that I've used from the get-go about what we believe we need to do in order for San Jose State to compete for championships every single year. And then I'll say one thing. This is one of my favorite sayings too, that a job is a job, and that it's the people and it's the place. You know, I hope Coach Brennan finishes his career here at San Jose State. But if that doesn't happen, I know that he's going to make a really good choice for him and his family. And I know that this football program will be in really, really good shape when that day comes. I'm just thrilled that that day didn't come this week. We've got quite a bit of work left to do. Again, I'm thrilled that we get to watch our team play another time. And then again, you know, we're excited for next fall. We hope, given the pandemic, we obviously can be back in SEFCU with our fans and our donors and our families. It's been incredibly hard not to share this with all the constituencies at San Jose State. So we've got ourselves an exceptional coach, and I've been around coaches my whole life. So, and we kind of knew it, and the president certainly knew it on December 12th, 2016, when she made the hire.
All right, over to Kyle. Go ahead.
Hey, Brent, does the extension address the pool for your assistants, and do you expect to have the staff in place next year?
Yes, it does. And that's really, really an exciting thing. I think, again, maintaining the continuity of leadership of our team, not, you know, losing coaches or not swapping coaches out all the time, I think gives you a chance for everybody to be on the same page and more consistent. So it does address that, which is absolutely fantastic and really, really important, because that's something that, you know, was maybe not in place before I became the head coach here. But as much as it has been consistent with Marie and Dr. Papazian. And again, all these things, you know, all these things add up over time to produce last Saturday night, right? Us on the field with the best team in the Mountain West for the last 20 years, and us winning that game convincingly, and all those things stack, right? And that's the being committed to the process. That's, you know, doing the good work every day to get there. That's so important. And staff retention is a huge, huge component of that.
One follow-up on that as we look to the future here. I mean, obviously no one loses their eligibility this year. So in theory, the whole team could return next year. You know, how similar do you think next year's roster will look to the team that you'll take to Tucson this week or next week?
I'm hopeful it looks really similar. And then we also have some players that are going to have, you know, NFL consideration, some players that are going to have, you know, post-grad job opportunities with, you know, our Beyond Football program. They've been building that plan for 4 years also with Tobrook Blaine. So, you know, some of those guys are, you know, in really good positions to start their postgraduate life, you know, with a degree and, you know, after their career of football is over. So there's going to be it's going to be a really interesting time, I think, you know, not just here, but in college football everywhere, watching the deck shuffle with the new transfer rule and COVID, you know, everybody getting an extra year of eligibility. So I think we're looking at a really, you know, if 2020 wasn't challenging enough, I think 21 is going to have its challenges as well.
All right, Vic, do you have another question for Coach?
Yeah, actually I do. So I was lucky enough, obviously, Brent, to meet you a number of times at Levi's, and I'm climbing the mountain. And I definitely can sense and feel and see in your eyes that you meant what you said. But what actually kind of convinced me, like, was a couple of years ago talking to Courtney. And I can see the way she looked at you, the way you talked about her. And can you comment on how and she supported you and what she saw in you probably from years back? I could tell there was something there. Obviously, I would never ask, but I could just tell there was something there. You know?
You know, honestly, I think, you know, someone once told me that to be a good football coach, you need a good quarterback, a good dog, and a good wife, and not in that order. And you absolutely have to have that. She's amazing. And there's also a really lonely part of being a football coach's wife, right? You know, your husband's on the road recruiting a lot, or, you know, the job is a lot of hours. It's going to naturally be a lot of time away. And then you're raising a family on your own and all those things, right? And then the success and failure of your husband's job is so public, right? So and that might be the hardest part, because people will say just ridiculous stuff to her, ridiculous, ignorant, rude, like, and not really understand the context of, like, you know, hey, like your husband works for IBM and I don't tell you that he sucked at his job yesterday, right? Like it's like it's a really interesting mix for her. But she was with me from the start. She was with me when I had to take the head coach's kids snow skiing on a day off when I was a graduate assistant. She was with me when we had to, you know, pack the video film and send it on an airplane back pre 9/11. You know, you actually sent physical VHS tapes on an airplane same day for your next opponent. Like there's so much there. And unlike what is going on here? Sorry. Wow. Yeah, I'm so lucky for Courtney Brennan. She's just amazing. And she is just my absolute rock and the absolute rock and toughest person in our family. And that's not close. And, you know, she sits in the stands, right? Like being a head coach's wife and having the courage to sit in the stands, I would say is rare. And I don't know any head coach's wife that does it. But that's where she wants to be. She wants to be out there and she wants to feel the crowd. And I promise you, like our first 2 years, right? Like there was not people saying, you know, hey, Courtney, we love Coach Brennan. Glad you guys are back. Like there were some tough days, but she's tough and she's amazing. She's amazing with our players. She loves our players. You know, if I need to talk to James Jones, who we coached here, you know, 15 years ago, like I asked Courtney to call him because he'll pick up her call, right? Like I'll text him like, James, I need to talk to you. And then finally I'm like, Court, will you tell James I need to talk to him? But and so I think it's the collective effort, but I know our family, she is the best part of it.
Thanks, Brent.
Okay, we're gonna go over to Kate. Go ahead.
Coach, congratulations. Thanks for talking with us today. I guess I want to ask kind of a forward-looking question, if I may. You mentioned Boise State, you know, having been sort of the most successful team in the Mountain West over the last, you know, recent decade or so. Do you think that, or how do you view your team? I should say from a national perspective going forward, what do you think the ceiling is for this team when it comes to being in that national conversation?
I don't think there is a ceiling for this team. You know, I don't think there is a ceiling for this school. You know, I think that's part of the problem is that the Bay Area people, whoever, have put a, you know, limiting belief on San Jose State University. I don't see that happening. I see our graduates kicking ass all over the world, right? Like and so why can't we have a great football program that is ranked every year, that does play for conference championships every year? You know, why can't we have that here? And so I think, you know, as you see the advancement of San Jose State and our program, you see new facilities. You know, if you're on South Campus, you see just the acceleration of what's happening here. If you're on campus, you're seeing the new buildings there. I mean, just the growth of this university in the last, you know, 6-8 years has been incredible. And so I think we're here at the absolute best time in the history of San Jose State to build a championship football program.
Thank you.
Steve Kroner, go ahead.
Yeah, I got two questions for Marie, if I could. Marie, the first one I would ask you is, what do you think is a better day for the San Jose State football program? December of 2016 when Brent was hired, or December of 2020 when he decided to stay?
Well, I'll say this, the best day of the year every year is graduation for an athletics director, because
sure,
there's nothing, boy, oh boy, you know what? I would say, wow, those are both pretty big days for different reasons. But probably when we first hired Coach Brennan, because I think that, again, how he and I were aligned and really started to believe that we could get this thing turned around and get headed in the right direction. So I'll take the first year we hired him.
Okay. And then I got in a little late. I'm sorry if someone has already asked you this. Is there any update you can give on the trip to Arizona? Is it set? Is it still in limbo? Anything you can provide?
Yeah, and maybe we could put it in the chat too. We have a spokesperson for the university that's answering those questions. But I will tell you that incredibly proud, and Santa Clara County health officials have actually complimented us on following the directives from our city health officials. We've been doing so since the middle of July, and we certainly will continue to do so. And we very much look forward to playing the bowl in Tucson.
And Steve, I just put into the chat for everyone the direct email of the on-campus contact. And again, everyone can reach out to Ken for any questions regarding that. Back to Kyle, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't take my hand down from earlier, so that was I'm good here.
No problem, no problem. Kate, I see your hand up too.
I'm afraid I suffer from the same issue.
Hey, 2020. Victor, do you have the same issue,
actually,
or do you have another question?
I just saw Lawrence there, so just question for Lawrence. You're 40 years here, Lawrence. How do you rank this for yourself? Everything you've seen, you've been there literally from the beginning. So just anything you might comment on there.
Well, there's this is a great day. This is a wonderful team with wonderful people, and there's more to come.
All right, do we have any other questions for Coach Brennan, Marie, or Lawrence? All right, everybody. Well, thank you. And again, San Jose State against Ball State in the Arizona Bowl on New Year's Eve. We hope you guys will tune in on CBS or KTRB.
Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. Thank you.
Bye-bye.